So, we're gonna go with another band that I got into also late in high school. A band that hails from Sweden. Sweden, yeah. A melodic death metal band known as Children of Bodom. This band definitely, when I first heard it, was blown away by just their. Well, I mean, these guys were young back then when they first started, so just the like the keyboards, the electric guitars, just the whole. I don't know. For that a band that young to be singing that music at the time was very cool, and just yeah, they really. I mean, I liked death metal before that, but these guys definitely really made me an even bigger fan. Even if they're not brutal death metal, they're still melodic. They still can understand the lyrics. It's very cool just to see that. And they're still going today. You know, I mean, they're still young enough to have that youthful whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely another band that is really cool, and I believe they started in the 90s, or late 90s at least. And, you know, just kind of one of the best death metal bands of the late 90s, early 2000s. And I can't really say enough about them. I mean, I wish that they would come here more, but I'm not sure how that is gonna work. I hope that they tour here at some point. Maybe I'll get a chance to see them. I know that they played Heavy Toronto years ago,
Yeah.
but they're pretty cool.
Yeah. Next for me is a group band that I kind of just went with because I heard one of their songs and I thought they were pretty good. And of course, I heard their lead singer do a completely different song with, of course, Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. And I don't, maybe not necessarily one of my favorite bands, but a band that probably could get a little more into. I don't know. Also, a band that has done at least one song that I can think of offhand with the WWE Saliva.
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, they seem to be a flash in the pan because, well, I don't know. Like, I haven't heard too much anything new from that band, and I just feel like, yeah, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know where Josie Scott is, and I'm not sure what, you know. I think he had some issues himself,
Oh, probably.
but maybe back when I was in high school, yeah, definitely they were a part of the WWE musical platform, performing at WrestleMania 18, performing at Survivor Series 2002.
Here comes the pain.
That's Drowning Pool.
But it was performed.
It was performed at WrestleMania 18, you're right.
Yes.
You're right.
It's a Drowning Pool song, but it was one of the songs it was the song that ever performed at 18 for when Triple H did his entrance.
Yeah, Saliva did Dudley Boys.
Right, yeah, that too as well.
But yeah, it's a shame again I wasn't there. I mean, it would have been nice. But yeah, Saliva definitely one of the top bands of that point in my high school life, I guess. And I wish I could find what else they did after that, but there's not really too much, I don't exactly know. And yeah, he did Hero with
Chad
Chad Kroger and the guys from a guy from Our Lady Peace and the guy from Theory of a Dead Man. So, and I don't care. I like that song.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Saliva definitely another band that I wish I knew more about.
Yeah, no kidding. It's interesting to think of how many times you'll hear of a song done by a band, but it was originally done by someone else or a completely different band altogether. Like a
So we're gonna go to what number? Well, we're getting, like I said, we're getting to the end anyway.
For me, there's 3 left.
So, alright. We're gonna go to the band that really started my road to being a metalhead. And some might say, well, no, they're not really metal. They're more of like a hardcore hip hop, whatever. Not hardcore, but whatever. Core.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I did consider them metal. You look at all the bands that were popular at that time. Well, most notably Limp Bizkit. Not a huge fan of them, but I do like a few of their music. But yeah, they were more the hip hop. And you look at Korn, and yeah, they're probably not true metal, but you look at them, they're heavy. They do have that hip hop element to them, but they mainly stay on the hard rock or metal aspect. And they were pretty much the band that got me started to being a metalhead. I get there eventually, but
Yeah.
you look at them and you think that, for me anyways, I remember for some reason I enjoyed the fact that, hey, they cuss a lot, I can do it. But, band for people who are in abusive situations, who are isolated, yeah, just those kinds of people would listen to that band, but I never had that, thankfully.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed listening to the music.
Yeah.
And they're still going strong. It's interesting to see if one day I will eventually see them, but yeah, I've been seeing this band for almost 20 years. Let's say, yeah, almost 20 years. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
My next choice. Earlier on, I said that Guns N' Roses would probably be in the top 10 best bands all time. I think my next choice, could easily fit into that same category. Maybe arguably number 1 or in thereabouts, but definitely one of the most popular and definitely legendary bands of all time, AC/DC.
Oh, yeah. AC/DC. I went to a high school that their not mascot, but their football team was called Thunder. So you can imagine, what the theme song was. Highway to Hell.
Highway to
No,
Hell.
Thunderstruck. And I think I listened to AC/DC before. It was like I didn't know that much about them, so it's like listening to two different versions. You've got Bon Scott, who was the lead singer in the '70s, and then Brian Johnson came in, and you could definitely hear the two different, like, to me, Bon Scott was more the hard rock party, band, and then you get Brian Johnson, and yeah, the hard rock is there, but it was more.
He's much, 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 much higher vocal range.
Yeah, but yeah, I have no idea how he doesn't have laryngitis.
Singing like that and doesn't have a sore voice afterwards, no kidding.
But no, I mean with Brian Johnson, it was more or less. It's like he brought more of a bluesy edge to the band, especially with Stiff Upper Lip.
Yeah.
But actually, you have those two guys, but the original lead singer, who didn't even last very long. That's why nobody really knows who the fuck he is Dave Evans. He had that glam look to him, and it didn't really fit the band. So he got booted, and you get Bon Scott, and definitely a party guy, and the band was definitely not really into drugs as much as he was. I don't even know if that's true, but the fact is, he suffocates, he dies, and then they have to soldier on. They get Brian Johnson from the band Jordy, who was a real fan of the band, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, definitely a band that they're awesome. And it's unfortunate that you got Brian Johnson, who went deaf, I guess. Malcolm Young got dementia, and he passed away last year. And Paul Rudd didn't even need to be in the band. You got Chris Slade, who was much better, in my opinion, but Paul Rudd, who basically went to jail for pedophilia,
of course.
supposedly. So, yeah, so that, and it's funny because there was such a great band that the Toronto Rocks, but it was supposed to be all about the Stones. That band, AC/DC, blew the roof off the fucking place.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're that good. And I think that, it's unfortunate. Like I made that argument a while ago, and I hope they don't do it, or have AC/DC continue with Axl Rose would be the biggest insult, in my opinion. You either bring Brian Johnson back, or you just leave, because your band is done, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there's a cover version of Thunderstruck that is certainly different, but it's actually not bad. I'll have to maybe play it when we're done here.
Yeah, I think that I had a friend who was a huge AC/DC fan. Well, I had a few friends that were AC/DC fans because they are that good. They're definitely, social party people who, just have a good time, and it's definitely a shame that they could never possibly get back together. Obviously, because of Malcolm Young, but definitely a band that should, be remembered anyways.
Oh, yeah,
As one of
absolutely.
the greatest hard rock bands there ever was.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, speaking of which, I guess we're down to the last two. No, last three.
Yeah.
So, when you talk about AC/DC, we have to talk about one of my all-time favorite bands in the world. Listening to them since I was about 15. And, yeah, bar none, one of the best bands. A lot of people diss them for a lot of shit that they've done. Metallica.
Absolutely.
Fucking Metallica, you know? These guys definitely don't really give a fuck about. They just do what they want to do. And you look at. I think it was Aftermath when Art Alcal was on there. And he said the WWE is a lot like Metallica. They just change. And they don't care what people think. And sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing. Because you look at this band and it's like, alright, well, it sucks that they can't, you know, stay with their own genre, but here's a band that went from being a thrash band and, well, first they lose Cliff Burton as the bassist, then they have Jason Newsted, and then they do their first music video, which a lot of fans were pissed off about that. And then they go and they get Bob Rock as their producer. They do the Black Album. People hate them for that because, well, hey, their music went mainstream. So fucking what? So then they they cut their hair. Instead of playing metal, they just play hard rock. Well, people hated them for that. Well, so fucking what?
Yeah.
And then they did I Disappear, which led to the whole Napster bullshit.
Yeah.
So you got Lars Ulrich, who goes up and he says, oh, Napster sucks, and, you need to fucking shut it down, or we're suing people, and people shouldn't download music, because downloading music is bullshit. You have to buy the music, and in a way I understand, but for people that don't buy music because they don't have enough money, fucking let them download the music because they're gonna do it anyways. So then you get, that going on. And then the one album that people really fucking hated, Saint Anger. And James Hetfield was going through some shit. He left. He got sober. He came back. They did a documentary, Some Kind of Monster, about it. They got a new bassist. And it was great. But for some reason, people didn't like Saint Anger. Well, fuck off.
Yeah.
Because that was what they wanted to do. Of course, it didn't have any solos in it. It didn't sound like Metallica. Not every band has to sound the same.
Yeah.
So they eventually did do Death Magnetic in 2008. They tried to go back to their metal roots. Then they did Death Magnetic, and then they did a lot more cool shit there. It's it's like, yeah, it's a very cool, what they're doing. They're still going at it.
Yeah.
They still have a fan base, yeah. I understand they don't do what a lot of people want, and that pisses them off. I know tons of people that used to love Metallica, and for some reason or another, they feel like Metallica sold out.
Yeah.
Alright, so you don't have to like everything. And you can't just say, well, I hate this band because they sold out, or did something you didn't like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, people can change their minds in a heartbeat, and that's that. Doesn't seem to matter what the deal is or what it's about or what the choice is. Either they like it or they don't. That's final.
I mean, you still get Metallica. They come when they play. They'll play stuff from, you know, Kill 'Em All to Load, Reload. They'll play all that shit. It's awesome. Yeah, they change their sound a few times, but so what? A lot of bands do. I know that some don't. Okay, well, that's fine for them. Metallica did what they thought was right, what they thought they should do, and they got flagged for it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going on with WWE specifically. You know, they can't please everybody. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Metallica, my all-time favorite band.
With them still going on, how often do you think they get requested to perform Enter the Sandman?
Enter Sandman is going to be one of the best songs of that time.
Yeah.
You know, if you choose your list, you gotta have Master of Puppets, Enter Sandman, 1. My favorite, For Whom the Bell Tolls,
Yeah.
you have a lot, you know, to choose from.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Not But True. You've got, you know, you listen to all the other stuff, you know, you got Cyanide and fucking, you know, The Day That Never Comes. Yeah, I know that's not one of the, it's more of like half lyrics, whatever. But no, you can't please everybody. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
It just means you can't fucking go, I can't listen to this band anymore.
Yeah.
No, because you weren't really a fucking fan to begin with.
No.
Yeah.
So it's up to me for the last selections. The last two for me are, I guess you could say, are kind of country, but also kind of country and other stuff as well. I'll just basically make this quick. The next one I have is Rascal Flatts.
Oh, yeah.
They're a really good group. They've got songs like Here Comes Goodbye, What Hurts the Most, a few other songs that are really good, and I quite enjoy them as I quite enjoy the music.
Alright. Well, last two. Well, first one I'll do is the Foo Fighters.
Okay, yeah.
The Foo Fighters, definitely, I've been listening to since I was in the 8th grade. Of course, they started before that, back in 95. Yeah, Dave Grohl, one of the biggest musicians. He could do it all. Like,
yeah.
you know, he was a drummer for many bands. You know, Nirvana, Scream. He did Queens of the Stone Age. He drummed for his side project, Probot. He did the Supergroup, them Crooked Vultures, you know. He did a lot of stuff, and he's one of those guys that I love because he also loves an array of music. Like, he'll listen to metal, he'll listen to punk, he'll listen to, well, a lot of other stuff, like,
Yeah.
you know, pop or whatever. It's like, he loves the Beatles. It's one of those guys that is also very down to earth. And the Foo Fighters, you know, started right after Kurt Cobain died. You got Dave and, well, Dave Grohl and Pat Smear. Pat Smear, another guy that is, been in bands a long time, including the punk band, the Germs. You have these guys who definitely had lineup changes as well, but very, very good music, and I can't get enough of them. Like, I just,
Yeah.
their last album, or not their last album, but I can't remember the name of it. Back and Forth, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And they're one of the best at just rock and roll. They're definitely the band that. They're one of the best rock bands of the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah, they were a really good group.
And yeah, their last record wasn't very good, but it is what it is. And I think that, one day I'll see them in concert, and I hope that they make their way over here in the Peterborough area.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good choice. And finally, for me, as a group that I just, first thing off the top of my head was this group. A group that I haven't really listened to a whole lot of, but I am familiar with, and a group that I actually like quite well. And one of their songs that I heard quite a bit, and is one of those songs that you can advocate for, you could say. Basically like an anti-abuse song, but it's Prairie Oyster.
okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them before, actually.
Yeah.
What kind of music do they sing?
It's kind of like folk country, you could say.
Okay. Well, I may have heard a song or two. It's kind of like I don't really know. But, okay.
Let's see here. There it is.
Emily, are you around? Yeah, I'm okay. I just ran into the wall.
She walks into work on Monday, too much makeup on her face, secret shadow fading.
Don't want to play too much of that song just in case it's
Yeah.
copywriting issue or whatever, but yeah. That's a song called Black Eyed Susan.
Okay.
And it's basically like an or a song about abuse. Abusive relationships and
Yeah.
that.
That's definitely pretty cool. Like I said, I actually never heard any of that before, but that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Alright. And the number one band that I chose is the band that I got from my older brother again. And it was his favorite band, and their songs are very catchy. They definitely brought back the rock and roll to the 90s. They're one of the grunge bands, if you will. The band that definitely broke the mold between 70s hard rock and punk. Nirvana.
Oh, yes, of course.
And I'm still a fan. I'm 33, and I've been listening to the band around the same time, maybe less, or maybe more, Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
No, actually, I listened to Foo Fighters when I was 13. I was probably 12 when I was getting into Nirvana. And just, I don't know, it was something about Kurt Cobain's voice that was very much pain. You know, he was in a lot of pain. He had back issues. He was a heroin addict. He just, you know, it was always baffling to me. You know, you don't want to be a rock star and you don't want to have the limelight, but why would you even, I guess, agree to be famous? Who knows how this all happened?
Yeah.
You know, who knows how all this happened? A lot of people blame Courtney Love. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, you talk about Dave Grohl and his first band, or his second band, Nirvana, who became really famous. You know, just a three-piece band. And then later on, in 93, you have Pat Smear joining the band as the guitar player. Chris Novoselic, who was a bassist, also does the accordion, I guess. Just a really cool band, you know. Like I said, it was actually described as Black Flag meets Black Sabbath, which is very true. I mean, they have the hard rock vibe, but also very influenced in the punk rock movement.
Yeah.
And that's mostly what grunge kind of sort of is like hard rock and fucking punk rock molded together. And Nirvana was one of those bands that, yeah, they really spoke to me. They really, you know, just kind of, they don't get old to me. It's not like, oh, I used to like this band. No, I really still will listen to this band if I get the chance.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But, you know, it's like if Kurt was alive today, I would think that he would still carry on.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he would still. It was apparent that he wanted to do acoustic stuff, but who knows? I mean, the fact of the matter is, depression is a shitty thing to go through.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And nobody understands that. You know, people think, well, why would you kill yourself? Well, sometimes people can't help that. And he couldn't help that. You know, a lot of people say that he was murdered, but I don't know now. It's like, who knows now? But just another band that really speaks to me, you know, and really influenced me. And yeah, one of my favorite bands, well, my favorite band of all time.
Yeah, Nirvana is, I would say, probably one of the top recognizable bands there is.
Well, yeah, like even people that are now teenagers, they still wear Nirvana t-shirts, and
yeah.
they still play Smells Like Teen Spirit. They have to find that influence at some point,
Oh, yeah.
or somehow, and it's like, there it is. You know,
Whether it be from your parents, or looking it up on online, or somehow getting a hold of one of their albums, or from a friend, whatever the case may be.
you think that rock and roll never dies, but that is bullshit because, you know, each generation is gonna find it.
Oh, yeah.
Each generation is gonna know who Jimi Hendrix is, who's gonna know what Jimmy Page is, who's gonna know who Kurt Cobain is, or, you know, Bruce Dickinson. It doesn't even matter. They're still gonna be popular. You know, even I don't even know what my parents, you know, were into at my age.
Yeah.
I mean, back then, those people were, well, not Kurt Cobain, but a lot of those people were still young. Were still
Yeah.
full of life and still. I mean, they were fucked up, but they were still, you know,
Yeah.
one of the greatest of all time, and we still enjoy the music.
Yeah, as long as there's still a way to get the music or find the music, years from now, it'll still be listened to.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
So this has been an interesting topic.
Yeah.
You know, I hope you don't mind me hazing. I'm kind of a dick that way. But no, I really enjoyed this. Like I said, I know I stumbled a bit. You know, I was trying to figure out what we could talk about more so than wrestling.
Just wrestling, yeah.
So I'm sure we'll go back to that eventually, but
Well, I'm sure, lots of things we could talk
oh yeah, for sure.
about. Favorite singers, favorite restaurants, favorite foods, favorite celebrities, favorite actors, favorite sports, maybe, favorite video games, favorite anything.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, for me, Matt, this is Killer Kyle. Now you know our influences, my favorite bands. If you like any of those bands, comment down below. We're still waiting for questions.
Yeah.
So we could do a video where we can answer questions from people. So,
Yeah, even if there's a band or bands we didn't mention in this video, comment on the video,
Yeah.
hook us up on Twitter. He's Metalhead.
metalmat84@gmail.com. You're
Killer
Killer
Kyle. Killer Kyle.
Okay. Alright, well anyways, see you next week.